On September 19, 1996, during the regime of late General Sani Abacha in city of Owerri, Imo, an innocent 11-year-old boy named Anthony Ikechukwu Okoronkwo was murdered for ritual. The little boy was hawking boiled groundnuts, which was his daily routine. He strolled along, selling his groundnuts for peanuts to whoever wanted to buy. When he got to Amakohia area of Owerri, his eyes lit up with joy when a customer beckoned on him to approach. That customer was named Innocent Ikianyanwu, aged 32. The boy was called into the famous Otokoto Hotel and the little groundnut seller was visibly very excited, since it was a hotel. It meant that the new customer would probably be buying plenty groundnuts, which will mean more money to take home to his struggling parents. While waiting, the boy was treated like a guest. He was given a bottle of Coca-Cola to cool off from the punishing heat of tropical Africa. Innocently, he took the Coke and gulped it with relish. As he was sipping his soft drink and taking a look at the glittering surrounding of the hotel, he could have imagined having a hotel of his own too later in life. As he was dreaming, his vision became blurry and the sounds around him became muzzled and dull. In a matter of minutes, he dozed off, never to wake up again. His tray full of groundnuts was lying in a corner. Observing the boy from a safe distance was the man who had called him to buy his groundnuts. He had spiked the boy's drink and once he saw he was asleep he took the limp body of the drugged lad into one of the hotel rooms. What followed next remains one of the most evil things anyone can ever dream of. A sharp cutlass emerged from nowhere and the most vile and evil act was perpetuated on the innocent boy. The boy's genitals were not spared as well. He packed all inside a polythene bag. The butcher, Ikianyanwu, then took the polythene bag containing the boy's organ and headed for the next destination, to the house of the man who needed them. After the grisly murder of the little Okoronkwo by Mr. Innocent Ikianyanwu, he left the hotel to deliver the head where it was needed. He then stopped a bike man, Okada rider, to convey him to the place. The polythene bag was still dripping with blood. When he alighted, the Okada man quickly alerted the police. The police then intercepted Ikianyanwu on his way back. He was carrying the head with him in the polythene bag. He was going to the residence of a highly influential figure named Chief Leonard Oneagu at Iziama, Ikaduru local council area with the head. But upon arriving, he was told Mr. Oneagu had gone to Lagos. So Ikianyanwu had no other option but to return to Owerri with the boy's head. When it was time to take the headless body of Ikechukwu to the local mortuary, there was a massive procession and protest by Owerri people. People came out in thousands to protest the boy's gruesome killing. They stayed around and within the hotel premises, waited for the police to confirm that it was indeed a ritual murder. While more were matching and trooping to the scene of the ritual murder as the news was spreading. It was in the midst of this tension that the local media station made its miscalculation. They showed the image of innocent Ikianyanwu holding the head of his victim. The goal of the media was to assure the people, assuage public fear, ask the public to help identify the boy and show official transparency. But what followed next was a catastrophe. All hell broke loose as the enraged people of Owerri went haywire after the image was first broadcast on the 24th of September. All Owerri residents abandoned their businesses and congregated at the town's central marketplace. It was there they decided on the next plan of action and outlined their strategies to deal with the Otokoto headhunters. The news spread rapidly. Every home in Owerri had heard news or seen the image of Okoronkwo's head or his shallow grave. Unemployed and disgruntled youths took over the parks and issued threats to the Owerri millionaires. From the Owerri main market, the riots exploded. The pattern of destruction was neat. The rampaging crowd first went to the morgue and from there, they rushed to the Otokoto Hotel and burned it down. From there, they went to the nearby palatial mansion of Chief Vincent Duru and destroyed his property. His expensive cars were wrecked and Duru himself narrowly escaped. From there, the crowd split into attack groups and spread out to other sites of the privileged elite and unleashed maximum destruction. The well-known Piano Plaza and stores, alongside another hotel, Chibet Hotel, and various businesses linked to the Otokoto were utterly destroyed. The Zubairo-led government later confiscated all the property as recommended by the panel, which was headed by Justice P.C. Onyemajuru. From there, they rushed to the palace of the traditional ruler and chairman of the State Council of Traditional Rulers, Eze Onu Egwin-Woke. They burnt down his residence and his petrol station. They also destroyed the king's 15 air conditioners and many of his cars. They were not done yet. From there the crowd troops headed for the residences of former Imo State officials. These administrators were targeted because of what was described as their alleged unwillingness to properly tackle several cases of ritual murder. The angry rioters only agreed to calm down when the military administrator assured them of a full, state-level investigation of the incident. Ikianyanwu, who murdered the boy, was aged 32 and he worked as a gardener inside the Otokoto Hotel. Otokoto Hotel was located in an upscale area of Owerri, specifically the Amakohia side. It was a favorite location for the rich and wealthy youths to meet, drink and have all manners of fun. Duru's hotel was made up of 3 buildings, 3, 5 and 6 stories, each one behind the other. It was owned by Chief Vincent Duru, the father of Abidiozer Duru, the leader of the Black Scorpions secret cult that was responsible for robberies. Before this horrible incident, people of Owerri were already very angry at the actions of some extremely powerful and obscenely wealthy individuals in the state. These people were highly connected and oppressed everyone where they went. These rich people who had no really tangible or easily traceable sources of wealth kept on living large and instilling an atmosphere of terror and fear on the Owerri. For 2 days, the people of Owerri trooped out in their thousands, protesting and rioting. They simply ran amok, and the national and international media focused on the Owerri riots of 24th and 25th of September 1996, also known as the Otokoto Riots. The people felt they had had more than enough. Any suspected member of the Otokoto gang was lynched. Following the arrest of Ikianyanwu, he was remanded in police custody while awaiting trial. But while he was in the police custody, he was killed by food poisoning 4 days after. He killed the boy on Thursday, and by Sunday morning he was found dead. But luckily for the interrogators, before he was killed, Ikianyanwu confessed and mentioned Leonard Unayagu as the brain behind the ritual killing syndicate. He confessed that the ritual killing ring was a well-organized machine that specialized in ritual killing. He also said it was Unayagu who ordered him to get a human head. Reports has it that the Otokoto saga had been in place as far back as 1976. Confessional statements revealed that no one was spared at the Otokoto Hotel. Innocent guests and unsuspecting travelers who lodged at the hotel were drugged or attacked in the middle of their sleep and hacked to death. Police officers who swooped upon the hotel discovered not only the shallow grave containing that of the little boy, but also graves containing other victims. The exact number of corpses exhumed at Otokoto Hotel was up to 24 bodies. Some were buried at inconspicuous locations such as under the flower beds. The man that Ikianyanwu mentioned before he was poisoned to death, Leonard Unayagu, was a business tycoon. He was the junior brother of Laz Unayagu, a serving minister under Abacha. Leonard Unayagu was eventually arrested by the police. When the police arrested Unayagu, he lied with a straight face that he never knew anyone called innocent Ikianyanwu. Trial started on the 9th of December 1996 with Hilary Ngozi Apara as the first prosecution witness. 9 people testified before Justice S.O.Ek, who took over from Justice Gabriel Ogiako, the retired Chief Judge of Imo State, during the trial. On August 20, 1997, a senior magistrate court in Owerri docked 9 police officers for the murder of Ikianyanwu. They were Ifani Anazi, an assistant commissioner of police; Chukwu Obesai, an assistant superintendent of police; Kevin Azirim, Christian Nazi, and others. The case snailed on till October 14, 1997, over a year, and after series of adjournments, absence of lawyers and retirement of judges or their transfer. Many judges handled the case. First, it was Gabriel Ojayaku, then Simeon, who was almost done with the prosecution until he was elevated to Court of Appeal. Then finally on April 28, 1999, Justice Chioma Nwosuaihim sentenced all the 7 suspects to death. They appealed the sentence in 2012 but were unlucky as the sentence was upheld by the appeal court. After judgment, the convicts all moved to the Port Harcourt prisons in the middle of February 2003 pending their execution. Leonard Aneagu later died some years ago at the Port Harcourt prisons in what has been described as very mysterious circumstances. Duru and Anyuha were treated like royalties in the prison rather than criminals awaiting the death penalty. They got the most liberal visiting privileges, ate food cooked and brought from their homes. They were like lords. Duru even impregnated one of his female jailers and did a traditional wedding with her before he completed his case. And while they were incarcerated, the rate of child kidnappings in Imo dropped drastically.